Aryama Sundaram, Sanjay Hegde, Monika Arora on one side. Aryama Sundaram, Senior Advocate, Supreme Court. Sanjay Hegde, Senior Advocate, Supreme Court. Advocate Monika Arora. Lalitha Kumaramangalam, Chairperson of the NCW. Vikram Singh, former DGP, Uttar Pradesh. And Mishika Singh is a well-known activist. Mishika, thank you very much. I think it's unthinkable, reprehensible that this man should be released into society, and we should hear Maneka Gandhi say we will have to wait till he commits another crime before we can do something. I don't know how many people today will feel let down, will feel ashamed that this fellow, who was reported to be one of the most brutal of the rapists, who was actually the person who carried out, was a conspirator in the rape and the most brutal attacker. I don't even want to go into details of what he did to Nirbhaya. But I can only say it's unspeakable that this man will walk around today. We won't know whether he's traveling in a bus or in an auto next to us, or he's walking out looking for his next victim. Why should we take this kind of situation, Aryama Sundaram? It's a pathetic situation to be in. It's a disgrace for society at large.
Arnab, what is even more disgraceful and even more pathetic is the fact that this incident happened more than 3 years ago. And I ask myself, what have we done in the last 3 years? It's all very well for a minister to say today, the law is being adhered to, justice has not been done. Unfortunately, there is an act, and unfortunately the Constitution does provide for his release, because the Constitution says you can only be punished in the same manner as you could have been punished on the date of your crime. Now, this man, because of that, is going to go free. But I'm asking myself, if we learnt a lesson from that 3 years ago, what are our legislators doing for the last 3 years? Why have we not got an amendment in? Why are we allowing a situation where this can happen again? So when we all say it is pathetic, I think the most pathetic thing is to say that the law allows it, and that is said by a legislator who has done nothing to correct the law. 3 years has gone by.
No,
Why has there not been an enactment which is protected for the future?
I think Aryama Sundaram, what is pathetic is that there are some people here who use the smoke screen of child protection or some silly argument, Sanjay Hegde, that this man will reform himself. I mean, the most violent criminal, just a few days away from turning 18 at that time, people are using the smoke screen of child protection for this.
Well,
and we're just going to watch.
According to the law. He's a child according to the law. Let's take the converse situation.
What law? Change the law. What law?
Let's take the converse situation.
What law? Change the Constitution. Is it justice? You're telling me this is justice for Nirbhaya? Sanjay?
Arnab,
you tell, is this justice?
Cases make bad law. That's the first thing that you should know.
Laws are not meant to be static. That's the first thing you should know. No, laws are not meant to be static. You should know that.
Of course, laws are not meant to be static.
Then why are they static?
But do you want a dynamic law which will hang your kids?
Well, I want a law that makes sense to me.
Leave every kid at the mercy
what do you mean?
Of a lazy police officer who would possibly investigate.
What kind of argument is this? I haven't heard a more silly argument in the longest time, Sanjay.
Pakistan recently hung
I think this is just a completely silly argument you're presenting today. I mean, you're telling me this is justice?
Arnab, if you stop interrupting, you might listen to an argument.
No, please, Lalitha Kumaramangalam on the other side, please. I just want, no, watch just a minute. Before Lalitha Kumaramangalam comes in, I want justice tonight, justice for Nirbhaya. Her resilience became a symbol that sparked outrage among men, women, the young, the old in this country for nights and days on end. And the man who convinced her and her friend to get on that bus on December 16th will be roaming a free man soon. Then I have no faith in the law.
An iron rod up her, twisted it and pulled it out, so that she couldn't, tell people that she has been raped. Identify the perpetrators. For God's sake, the law is supposed to be about justice. As Maneka Gandhi pointed out, the law has been adhered to, but what justice has been given? And I'm not talking merely about Nirbhaya. In the last 11 months, every 11 months, every parent I've spoken to whose girl or child has been raped has said the same thing. Get us justice. Is our legal system today, is it sufficient to get people justice? The law is fine. I'm not saying the law should not be there. The law must be there. But the laws are made in order to get people justice. What justice have we got? And not merely for Nirbhaya. There are too many cases like this. A 2.5-year-old child who was raped last week in Delhi was supposedly raped by 2 juveniles. She's 2.5, for God's sake. And what law are we going to apply to those so-called juveniles?
And we keep arguing. No. The worst part is Lalitha Kumaramangalam. The worst part is Lalitha Kumaramangalam. There, some foreign filmmaker who comes into this country gives a platform for a rapist in an interview where the rapist gives himself a clean sheet. That documentary filmmaker is said to be a celebrated filmmaker. The rapist is given a platform to declare his innocence. And I'm telling you tonight, ladies and gentlemen, this is the hypocrisy in our society. We fight for that rapist to get a free platform to declare his innocence to the world. And as far as Nirbhaya is concerned, and every other woman in this country who has been a victim of violence and threat, the man who traumatized her for life, in this case, a man who led her to her death, will just get away, Monika. The man will just get away. He'll walk along tomorrow. You could be in a shop, he could be walking next to you. Something. Monika, yes please, Mishika can come in. Mishika and Monika, please, either of you.
My phone got disconnected in between, but I want to state here, firstly is good, bad, ugly. Today the law says that he will be released after 3 years of rehabilitation center.
What
now,
rehabilitation? The man is remorseless. That fellow is remorseless. The man is remorseless. He feels what he did to Nirbhaya was right. He has said, no, 1 second, there are reports, Monika Arora, that man has been reported to have said that he was trying to prove his masculinity by doing to Nirbhaya what he did.
For heinous offences.
Ma'am, the problem here becomes that if you treat a person like a juvenile, you're giving him a sentence which is supposed to be of a juvenile, sending him to a center, but his acts are definitely not that of a juvenile. What happened 3 years back, when he was a few days away from being 18, clearly showed his intention. If you talk about that, just because the person is not 18 does not make him a child. And to not punish him like an adult is obviously not in delaying justice, it's denying justice to the family of Nirbhaya, to other families. Just because the age is not there, you can't ignore the conduct of that person, how they behaved and what all was going in their mind when they conducted their act. Just because on paper someone is not 18 does not mean that we will not reprimand their actions, even if they are way more grave than what a juvenile or a child is expected to do.
Simple question here, Mishika. The simple question to ask is, what is the guarantee this fellow will not do it again? And then we'll be given some lecture on what is the technical...
That an adult offender will not do things again.
What are you saying, Sanjay?
What is the guarantee that an adult offender won't do the same thing again?
I'm asking you about this case. Answer this case. No, what do you mean by that question? Answer this case. What is the guarantee? No, Sanjay Hegde, this is just too much. You're stretching the argument.
Can I answer that question?
No, this is just...
Can I answer Sanjay Hegde here?
Yes, Aryama Sundaram.
Arnab, can I answer Sanjay Hegde?
Yeah.
He asked a question.
Yeah.
What is the guarantee that an adult offender will not do it again? The difference is the adult offender would have been punished with life. The adult offender would have been punished in such a way that he won't be walking free within 3 years to be able to do it again. That is the difference.
No, but at the end of 14 years, that adult offender is still out. It's only a question of tariff.
Such people are run away from
just a minute. Are you comfortable with hanging kids? That is the fundamental question. Once you get into this once you get into the slippery slope of treating kids as adults,
slippery slope?
Then you have to necessarily go
problem is, Sanjay Hegde,
we are going to hang our teenagers.
Sanjay Hegde, don't stretch the argument too far. No, watch it. Sanjay Hegde, your argument is so silly that I don't want to respond to it, but I will, because it needs to be responded to.
Then why are you responding to it?
I'll explain, because I need to explain to you what your mistake is.
Is your show a silly show?
No, I'll tell you why your argument is silly. I'll tell you why your argument is silly. I'll tell you why your argument is silly. Listen to me. Listen, because law does not exist in a vacuum, and the basic principle of proportion is to be understood by someone. Now, if somebody goes to a bakery, 1 second, listen to me. If somebody goes to a bakery and steals a piece of bread, that person's punishment will be presumably lesser than somebody who carries out a 20,000 crore scam. Okay, so understood properly. No. Arey bhai, listen.
Not how it happens.
Listen. Why don't you think only you people understand the law? You think only lawyers understand the law? You think all of us are? You think all of us don't understand the basics? Mr. Sanjay Hegde, you are carrying the argument too far, and have the patience to listen, please. I am asking today: is it justice in a country in which the Constitution enshrines equality before the law? The Constitution enshrines equality before the law. We have a fine print which allows the most grotesque, the most barbaric, the most bestial, and the most criminal mind to get away. And Nirbhaya, who fought till her last breath, saying she wanted to live despite the brutalities these 6 beasts deployed against her, one of them will be let loose in our society. And you think people will just sit there? The man who went to the monstrous extent of assaulting Nirbhaya even when she was unconscious.
So what is...
I don't want to go into details of what this fellow did. He was brutalizing her when she was unconscious.
To say that
I'm saying it's not safe to let this kind of character out.
What is your solution then?
My solution is that man should be in lockup. And by the way, my solution is simply this. You go and ask his counselor. The counselor says there is no change in this man. There is not an iota of regret on his face when he was arrested or today. His counselor says there is no iota of regret, which makes me believe this man can carry out an act of bestiality again. And when you let him loose next door, when you let him loose to our society, Sanjay Hegde, when you let him loose in our society, these kind of hyper-technical arguments of yours don't make sense in real life.
Arnab,
the fact is, when you let this man loose,
the law has to be respected. We do not.
When you let this man loose into society, Sanjay Hegde, remember this. Remember, when you let this man loose in our society, this man will be emboldened. He will say, look here, I carried out this worst act of brutality as an expression of my so-called masculinity.
Definitely.
Right? I brutalized a woman after she was unconscious. I did things to her which not even, the greatest devil or beast would imagine doing. And look here I am. I lived under state patronage for 2 years and I went away. That man, I think Vikram Singh will be emboldened to do it again.
Not only that, Arnab, he still has so-called high-thinking people who defend him.
He will be emboldened to do it again.
He's right.
Yes, Vikram Singh.
Indeed, he would be emboldened. To the contrary, the might of the state should come down heavily on such elements. If he has hobnobbed with the jihadis, I think the Delhi police should register a fresh case against him and see to it that he is behind bars till such time as he is not de-radicalized. And as far as law is concerned, law, natural justice are meant to serve the people. If you are old enough to commit a crime, you are old enough to be treated like an adult in a court of law. This is what happens in the US, this is what happens in England, and this is what happened in so many of the countries. But here we have
displayed compassion
for such criminality.
We are also
compassion should be on both the sides. It is not only heavily biased towards criminals, whether juvenile or otherwise. You are backing the wrong kind of horse, Mr. Sanjay Hegde. You are rocking the wrong horse. Look at the statistics. Half the country is traumatized and living in panic and fear because of such elements.
I don't know. I truly, Vikram Singh,
500% increase in abduction and kidnapping.
Vikram Singh, I don't understand what on earth is going on.
Kidnapped.
Where are the people today? No. What's it? Sanjay Hegde. You know, there was this person, right? She made a documentary. The documentary gave the rapist an open platform to defend himself and prove his innocence before everyone.
We are not talking of this child.
I am talking of a rapist. A rapist. Where is that documentary filmmaker today? She should sit on dharna, no, against this fellow going out. All those people who are returning awards should also return awards, saying we will not accept awards till the law is changed. Till people. No, this is not. This is connected issues. I am talking about where are all those people today? If they are returning awards on several issues, let them also return awards, saying change the law, change the constitution.
That we are shedding crocodile tears for
let's have a word.
Why are we so?
All the rightists, all those who think there is no atmosphere of intolerance today, if they want an issue to return their awards, this is a perfect issue.
Mr. Sanjay Hegde, please understand this. We have voices today defending the release of the juvenile, right? In the 2012 Nirbhaya gangrape case. Please understand, bring to your attention that voices of support for this 20-year-old rapist who is nothing beyond a convict in the eyes of the law will embolden others like him. Won't it, Aryama Sundaram?
You're sorry. I'm sorry.
It will.
He's not a convict.
It will.
He's not a convict. That's the law.
That is the problem.
That is the law. The law, any proceedings which are taken under the Juvenile Act do not make him a convict. Please,
no.
We have specifically brought in the Protection of Child Rights Act.
But he's not behaving like a child.
Protection of child rights?
Madam,
Mishika Singh
made sure that she died. He was the one who committed all those acts, and to call him a child, it's preposterous. To say that a person like that deserves anything called child rights.
Would you much rather hang him? Would you much rather hang him? Let's get that first settled.
The problem
Let us get that settled, because unless you are willing to do that, then otherwise all this conversation is useless.
Mr. Hegde, exemplary punishment.
So you really think someone who committed that act does not deserve to be punished
ready to hang a
just
child?
because they were not
Would you have a country which would hang somebody for something what he did when he was 16, 17 or less than 18?
It does not matter the age at which he committed. He was fully conscious of what he was doing.
Then why stop at 16, 17? Would you hang a 9-year-old?
Rape someone,
would you hang a 9-year-old?
That's not an accident. It's not a mistake that you make just because you're 16 or 17 and 18. It's a conscious
even if you are above 18, but if you are insane, you cannot be hanged.
Mr. Sanjay Hegde, Mr. Hegde, sometimes I wonder.
If you are under the influence of certain things.
Mr. Hegde, please listen. I have often wondered.
It provides immunity to people.
Mr. Hegde, I have often wondered where all these bleeding hearts only operate in India. Right? They are here to fight for terrorists, for rapists.
I'm no bleeding heart. I am only telling you
I'm
what
not calling you a bleeding heart.
How it applies.
I'll tell you how it applies.
All of us will have a
You have the
different
patience to listen, Mr.
Hegde?
Hegde? You have the patience to listen? I'll tell you why. You see, first of all, it's an observation. Don't be intolerant to my observation. I am saying today, there are a lot of bleeding hearts in India, whether it is rapists, whether it is terrorists, whether it is documentary filmmakers who interview and give a platform to rapists, you know, so that they can preach their innocence to the entire world. There are a lot of these bleeding hearts in our country. If a 10-year-old boy can be charged as an adult for beating a 90-year-old woman to death, right, which happened in Pennsylvania. If a 17-year-old from Colorado can be sentenced to life imprisonment for murdering and sexually assaulting another minor. If a 15-year-old boy in California, listen, if a 15-year-old boy in California, 1 second, can be charged as an adult for the murder of an 8-year-old minor. And in our country,
the US has a death rate worse than Saudi Arabia.
So if
we are not the US.
So we are not the US, we are not Saudi Arabia.
To the India,
so we should
to an international convention for the protection of
so the logic is this. Lalita Kumaramangalam, Sanjay Hegde's logic is similar to the absurd logic of Meneka Gandhi. Meneka Gandhi says, well, we'll have to wait.
Even call it logic.
Yeah, go ahead, Lalitha Kumaramangalam. Lalitha Kumaramangalam, please. Yeah, go ahead.
Look, Maneka Gandhi, I think, was talking out of partially a sense of frustration, because the truth is that this chap is going to get away scot-free. There's nobody and nothing who can do anything to make sure that he pays the price for the terrible, terrible thing that he has committed. We are all sitting on the show talking about his rights. What rights does he deserve? Was he even human to be, for anybody to say that he should have been, that his human rights should be thought of? For
Madam,
God's
human
sake, what
rights
are you
are not because the
when you let these people off, do you know how many other girls are put at risk? How many other bestial, horrible fellows like this will hide behind exactly the same excuses?
I did not want.
No, I don't think that's an excuse.
I don't know. Mr. Sanjay Hegde, this is incredible. In our country, there are people who will, shed tears for this. What is that fellow, Yaqub Memon? Who will fight for the rights of Afzal Guru and who will today fight for this juvenile. This is justice. Is it justice that a man in our country, is it justice, Mr. Hegde? Let me pit my logic against yours, then if you can pit me on facts. Is it justice that a man in our country is considered adult enough to rape a woman consciously? And then while she is unconscious, a man who is adult enough to pull out the intestines of a woman after raping her is not adult enough to face the laws equally?
Now let's
what is it justice but a framework that worked against Nirbhaya? What is it justice? What is this justice?
Let's assume that he was above 18, but that he was insane.
Don't give these technical arguments. No. Convince people. Mishika, please. Mishika, respond. Mishika.
There's a basic fallacy in what Mr. Hegde is saying.
Specific immunities in the law. If you are an infant, if you are insane, then the law makes exceptions for you, and that is the law. That is the law.
Arnab, Mishika, let Mishika
fallacy in what Mr. Hegde is saying. The basic fallacy in what Mr. Hegde is saying is this. He is taking the insanity of the person as being a reason to exonerate him. In other words, he recognizes the fact that if it's a sane person who's in full knowledge of what he's doing, only such a person should be punished. I'm in full agreement with that. My point is, there is no magic age of 18. The point is it a child or is a person old enough to know the effect of their action, the dastardly nature of what they're doing? Is there an intent behind it? This is what must be looked into.
Exactly.
Not a magic. And the law exactly presumes that. Does he know? Under the law, you cannot even enter into a contract. Under the law, you can't enter into a contract before you're 18.
There's a big difference between a contract and rape.
You cannot
contract, a rapist contract, take it back. Take it back. How can you relate it to a contract? Sanjay Hegde, take it back. An act of rape is a contract. How can you even make that ridiculous argument?
That is the principle of law.
That has got nothing to do with
the principle of law under which we all operate.
A contract is agreed on by two sides. What are you talking about?
If we letting such people
I am talking about what the law is. I am not talking about what your conception of justice is.
You are trying to trivialize what happened to Nirbhaya? You make a comparison to contract, the law of contract. Where did you learn your law, Mr. Hegde?
So that's the problem. This is
Arnab Goswami. I learned law just like you learned journalism.
I didn't learn journalism. I believe in it. But clearly you've got your facts wrong.
Exactly. Even I believe in the law. And you have no business checking out people's professional qualifications if your guest team did not check them out when they invited people on the show.
Mr. Hegde tried to answer. I'm saying, Mr. Hegde, I seriously object. I seriously object to your argument. I seriously object to your argument. I object to your argument making a comparison to contract. Our concern is primarily whether justice has been done to Nirbhaya. However, as importantly, is it in the interest of society that this 20-year-old who committed the most bestial act
that is your perception, Arnab. I am not speaking on whether it's the interest of society. I am telling you what the law is.
What are you? What law?
What law? That's what
I am telling you that the law does not presume an infant capable of either getting any benefits or any detriment.
What are you saying?
Under the law, as long as somebody is
Monika, Sanjay Hegde.
The same person will go scot-free. Because law has not changed. Law remains so. The immediate change we need is any person above 16 years of age, if he commits a heinous crime like dacoity, like rape, like murder, acid attack, he should be treated as an adult. And
definitely
law is to criminal prosecution.
If that is the case, if that is the case, by the way, of course, I think all those politically correct citizens, I think all those politically correct bleeding hearts, politically correct pseudo-liberal bleeding hearts should be aware there is a pending legislation in Parliament vis-a-vis the juvenile justice. The bill is pending in Rajya Sabha. Once passed, will bring the age of trials of adults down to 16. By allowing this particular Nirbhaya brutalizer to roam free, you are only emboldening other juveniles to commit atrocities and plague society till the bill is passed in the upper house. So, pit logic, Sanjay Hegde, you got it completely wrong today. There has been an absolutely upward trend in rapes committed by juveniles since 2012, which stands proof to the narrative that the soft approach taken towards juvenile offenders in the Nirbhaya case, as well as the Shakti Mills case, have emboldened others. To continue this trend is detrimental to society.
Who is the one who's advertising? Who is the one who's advertising it on the show? That you can get away with if you are a juvenile. You are the one. Now the point is,
Mr. Sanjay Hegde, you are the one making a defense. I am saying there is empirical data which proves a steady and rapid increase in the number of crimes committed by juveniles.
Tens of such cases also.
Equally, there is also a lot of data.
You are the one defending a rapist.
That juveniles have been rehabilitated.
You are the one defending a brutal rapist.
What age?
You are the one defending a rapist, Mr. Hegde.
For driving, you have an age for contracts, you have an age for
Vikram Singh rebuttal. Vikram Singh on one side. Few minutes on the debate. Vikram Singh.
Arnab,
Sanjay Hegde, Vikram Singh,
this is one of the most perverse interpretation of law I have ever seen. This is one of the most personalized and perverse interpretation of law I have ever come across. You not only defended the rapist in a very perverse manner, but that it was the duty of the lawmakers to see it is the duty of law to serve the nation and the people. And if the law is not serving the nation and the people, it had better be amended, as Arnab has just informed us. Perhaps it is pending in the Rajya Sabha. Now, if you are old enough to commit a crime,
you have to walk out of an international treaty before you do that.
Technical argument.
You have to walk out of an international
Whatever
treaty.
you have to do, jolly well make a roadmap. The security of half the nation is more important than legal impediments. Legal impediments are not there to make half this country insecure. Treaty is meant for safeguarding the people, not to put them and unleash brutes before half the nation. Treaties are there to safeguard our womanhood. Treaties are not meant to put them and unleash
Mr. Vikram Singh, do you mean to say that
therefore
you would much rather go after every child and have them either hung or put them away for long periods of imprisonment, just so that
I would much rather, Mr. Sanjay Hegde, I have to close the debate. I would much rather, Mr. Sanjay Hegde, instead of...
Why don't you talk to them first? How can the law be so cold and callous? The law is meant to protect.
Madam,
not to allow
law has been made by very many people, including your revered father.
Over and over again.
If Mr. Monika Arora had today been...
He may have been my revered father. Now don't personalize it. This is
no, don't personalize it.
Please.
If the law was made and a mistake was made, regardless of who made the mistake, it needs to be amended. This is disgusting.
No, the point
Please don't
is that
personalize
India
it.
as a
Even, and
country
I
has nothing to do
as
with
your
Mr.
father's daughter,
Kumaramangalam.
I'm saying today on national television, if a mistake was made, it has to be changed. It has to be amended.
No, that's the question. That's the question.
In this dirty fight where you're trying to defend
approach
a
the
bestial,
question.
horrible human being.
We host the facts as a simple principle. As a simple principle.
If in this country,
are you willing to hang 16-year-olds?
you can, one second.
Are you willing to send them to life imprisonment? If it is 16, then what?
The answer is, Mr. Let me say this. You know, you may not get this answer from the pseudo-liberals, but the answer is very clear.
And deterrent punishment to man,
if a person commits the kind of crime that this beast did with Nirbhaya, and if that person has to be sent into life imprisonment, in order to protect society, that person should be sent into life imprisonment.
He must.
I entirely disagree.
And if the law can be changed, if the law needs to be changed, if there needs to be a 2/3 majority in Parliament and 20 assemblies in this country need to move it to change the law, change the law.
Stop calling him a child or treat him like a child because he's.
I agree with you, Mishika.
So to say that he's a child and child rights and should we treat children like that? He's not behaved like one.
I am saying that you cannot put India's children in jeopardy because of one child.
For God's sake, by saving rapists, you don't put India's children in jeopardy. Sanjay Hegde, I am completely horrified. I am horrified by the way you are stretching your argument on the Newshour tonight. I'll take this up further with you. I'll take this up further with you, Mr. Hegde. I thank you very much for joining me for now on debate number 2 on the Newshour tonight.